Today's video is all about the Amp Press. This is a brand new product from the same people that made the Annealing Made Perfect brass annealer, and as I'm recording this video in July of 2021, I've been looking forward to the release of this product for a very long time. Today, I want to tell you all about what it is, what it can do, and show you why, whether or not you ever even own one, that I think that this tool will ultimately change the way a lot of us reload moving forward. First of all, let us just deal with the elephant in the room. It's not cheap, but few things that are groundbreaking rarely are, and I truly feel that this is a groundbreaking product. The amount of time that they had to spend on designing the hardware, developing the software for it, I'm sure is not insignificant. The data that this will be able to provide is unparalleled from anything else that's currently available on the market. So even though they did provide me this review unit, I would have purchased this anyway so that all the folks that watch this channel can learn even more from all the testing that we're going to be able to do with it. So if you're interested in better groups and this isn't in your budget, stick around anyway, because moving forward, we're going to be looking at a lot of data from this tool and how it translates to your target, which is ultimately what we all care about. So what exactly is the Amp Press? I've seen it called a projectile seating force monitor, an arbor press, something comparable to like the K&N arbor press, or maybe even the 21st century hydro press. Maybe it's a seating comparator. But maybe it's the most detailed reloading log that's ever been created. I think Peter Drucker is quoted as saying that you can't manage what you can't measure, and ultimately we measure our groups. But this device can measure any variation from round to round on our seating process that ultimately is a reflection of our combined brass preparation. This tool, very likely, is going to give us a clue of what we may expect to see on target, assuming we do our job, of course, as well as tell us how any change in our reloading process is affecting our loaded rounds. The best I can tell you so far is that this press, in its most basic form, is a press that uses these Wilson inline seating dies, but while it's seating, it charts the seating distance versus the force. What I can tell in the log anyway, in about 1.5 thousandths increments. You can save these files to track what happened and compare it to what you saw downrange, and this is exactly what we're going to be doing moving forward. Let's go over quickly what these graphs really are. The x-axis on these graphs represents the seating distance represented in inches. However, it does have a metric option as well. The amp guys are claiming resolution to 1/1000th of an inch, but examining the log files, this tends to vary a little bit from that number. Regardless, this is going to be precise enough to see the variations in your trim lengths. The vertical axis on the chart is force in pounds. Again, a metric option is available. This press is capable of exerting 200 kilograms of force. That is 440 pounds for those of you that may not speak metric, so I'd be awful careful not to put your finger in there and see for yourself. This press, to me, is all about generating seating force data and being able to see how consistent our current process is and see how changes in our reloading process, or the order in which steps are performed, may affect the overall performance of our loads, and eventually being able to correlate that information to how it shows up on paper. Make no mistake here, this press by itself is not going to make better ammo. It's going to give you the knowledge to make your ammo better. This is a very important thing that you need to understand if you plan on investing in this press. If you're struggling with this concept, ask yourself if your comparators that you use are going to make your reloads any more accurate. By themselves, no. But they do allow you to set up your dies the same every single time, so your brass is sized correctly, and so that your seating depth is consistent. If you don't use the information this press provides you, it's not going to do any good. For people that are really interested in going into the weeds, I think this tool will be an invaluable source of information about your reloading process. Some of the things I plan on testing are the effects of annealing, also track how a single case changes over multiple firings as far as neck tension is concerned, how different bushings change the seating force, how different sizing methods compare to one another as far as seating force and performance on target are concerned. Also, does turning the necks give us more consistent performance? What if you tumble your cases for 15 minutes versus 3 hours? At what step should you anneal in your process? Does it even matter? What if I size a single case multiple times while I'm setting up my seating die? How is it affected? All these things that get argued about at the range and on all the forums, I'm sure this is just the beginning of a list of things that we can test. And frankly, I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments section below to what you think needs to be tested and what the community needs to learn. Whether you plan to buy an amp press or not, I think we can all learn something from it. And this will certainly be something we can use going forward to see what really matters in our process. and eventually what ends up on the target. This, combined with our lab radar and the shot marker, I think we'll be able to make some progress on some very interesting topics. At the initial release of this amp press, it does have to be controlled with software while it's plugged into a PC. Macintosh and Bluetooth wireless connectivity are supposed to be coming very soon, but until I can test things like that, I don't want to cover all the things that it might be, and frankly, that's why I don't even want to go through the software with you guys. Because I think the more we learn about this press, that updates will be coming that may change the way it looks and operates. There are other videos out already that show putting it together, and it's not difficult. If you decide to buy an amp press, the directions are both in the manual as well as on the USB stick that walks you through the process. I had to install a couple files, restart my laptop, and I was off and running. The amp press also comes with a simulation die. This can help you get comfortable setting it up, learning how to save and store files so you can look them up later, without worrying about making a mistake with your initial reloads you use it for. Besides setup and testing out the press initially, I do think that as time continues, if we don't believe the data coming off our press, we should be able to throw the simulation die in there, and that will give us extra confidence to trust the data that it's providing us, just in case our current processes aren't already perfect. Another key feature, if it's not perfectly clear, is being able to go back and look at some of the data, not only that you loaded yesterday, but also from a previously saved session. No matter how good your notes are, I don't think that anything like that can match what this press can provide. Right now, I think this tool is primarily going to show us two different things. Number one, it's going to provide us a visual representation of neck tension or seating force, and if it's varying from case to case. The second thing it's going to show us is how consistent the inside surface of the necks are. Are they clean? Are there any donuts in your necks? Going on and on and on. It seems to me that case lube may affect these numbers. The press is going to give us that information, but it's up to us to still do something with it. I'm sure that some people are going to think this is just another version of an arbor press. And to some degree you're right, but I truly don't think that most people understand how inconsistent they are when using those tools. This tool will bring another level of accuracy to our reloading logs, allow us to be more confident in the tests that we run, and help us define what truly works and, equally important, what doesn't, and highlight any differences in the ammo that we didn't know before we even use it. Now, if you'd like to understand how changes in neck tension can affect the performance of your reloads, check out this playlist here where we look to see how neck tension changes can affect both the velocity statistics as well as your group sizes. If you want to see all the crazy tests that we end up running with this tool, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you come back next week. And until then, stay safe in small groups.